But right now, it's time, brought to you by Reliant Air Conditioning, for some baseball nuggets. Now, I want to talk about this. This timing is great.
I have an update on it, too, so that's good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I wanted to talk about specifically Jacob deGrom maybe excelling because of the ABS. Can you describe to everybody at the tail end of the last segment and in the break kind of one of the drills that we were watching transpire in front of us?
Okay, so the drill that they were running out here, we were trying to figure out what exactly they were doing, and I was like, it just looks like some live catcher drills. But then we started noticing, because they didn't have an actual live pitcher out on the field, they had a coach who was putting it in the pitch machine, and he was letting it throw the balls and strikes, and I didn't notice until late. I started hearing the catchers calling them balls or strikes. They were saying what it was out loud. And then everybody would turn and look up at the ABS on the board out in left field. And so I was like, okay, I got an idea of what this is. Let me confirm. Reached out to some people, Kevin, and they were working on challenging the system, challenging balls and strikes. So get your catcher comfortable with where he knows the strike zone should be, especially within the ABS. And if you need to make that call, you have to trust the catcher first. You know, every pitcher probably wants it. He's like, nope, call that one, challenge it. Every pitcher probably wants it.
And you don't have that freedom.
And so
like every NBA player doing the circle every time. You're like,
oh, my God. And you have to trust the player, right?
Yeah.
You have to be like, well, you know, that's my star player. I guess I got to give him.
It's the third play of the game, and I'm like, we're good.
We can't use that. So every manager needs to know that he can trust his catchers with their strike zone. And so they are legitimately working to understand, training themselves. That's what spring training is about, Kevin. Yep. Training themselves on where the strike zone is. And they were pretty damn accurate based on what I was seeing and hearing.
Well, and so this is one of the things that I was fascinated specifically with the Rangers then. The top of the zone is consistently the most difficult to get like a day-to-day reading from different umpires.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, the consensus on it is very all over the place.
Or if you want to just cut right to the chase from Ryan Jeffers, the Twins catcher, maybe in general it's just that umpires aren't very good at calling the top of the zone. They're worse calling the top than they are the bottom. So The Athletic put out an article kind of supposing that, does that mean if you like to go high, especially high with your fastballs, that the ABS could be better off? And so they essentially put together like a control metric for high fastballs and who's the best at like consistently getting that top of the strike zone on the edge kind of fastball.
I want it to be Jack Leiter, honestly.
Well, that would be fantastic. But they put Jacob deGrom at 10th on the list. And so I know we all felt really good about what Jacob deGrom was doing last year. I'm sure he would be like, got to cut down on the home runs. But I like the idea that maybe, especially in clutch situations, he would be a little bit more comfortable challenging fastball a little at the high end of the zone, knowing that the ABS might be there to bail out what he thought was otherwise a poor call.
Okay. Yeah, dude, whenever you watch, for me, Leiter, he loves the high fastball.
Sure.
Like he's been he felt like that was his confidence. Go up high for strike three was his goal. No, then he got up here and was like, oh yeah, a lot of these guys can hit that high fastball too. But it's used a lot of times for, we discussed it with Maddox. The approach was high. You're using that to offset the eyes. Well, deGrom's like, no, I'm using it to strike the next guy out because I've been offsetting their eyes the whole time. I know where the strike zone is up high. But that system, as you pointed out last week, where it's a .10
yes.
and good
the size of a coin.
Yeah, good for him. That he, I guess if he can get a strike there, I need to throw it a little lower. I love that concept, and that's the thing about deGrom's pitching style, dude. Like it's still high velocity. You know, his slider's high velocity. His pitches still come in, and you're like, the movement's so nasty on it that when he decides to go do something like that, you're like, what am I supposed to do? So hopefully he does get the benefits of this, man. I hope it's a big change for him.
Now let's talk about a few more prospects in spring training. Now, prior to yesterday's game, I want to take you to the Orioles. Vance Honeycutt. He was the Orioles' first-round pick in 2020-24. Didn't really go well for him in 24 or 25, and he was like, look, last year was tough. It's new year, new me. Thus far, going into yesterday's game, he only had 3 at-bats in spring training, and he had 3 home runs. Kind of feels like you should get him more at-bats, right?
Yeah.
Specifically, their manager was like, 3 hits, 3 homers. I like that.
Yeah, everybody will take that.
Cutting right to the chase.
Yes.
Now, speaking of 3 home runs, who is the prospect that we have talked about plenty across Major League Baseball this year?
Oh, Monty Ferris.
No, the current, not the mid-90s prospect, him and Donald Harris. Yeah. No.
Connor Griffin.
Connor Griffin did, in fact, hit his 3rd home run yesterday, so he continues to rock and roll as he goes along. Now, let's move over to
He's just nuking the ball.
He looks like he smashes that thing. He looks like he's going to be unbelievable. Don't mark that. And I really hope he breaks camp with the Pirates because I would love to see how that goes. Now,
are the Pirates becoming our second team?
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Have we chosen the Pirates this year?
Yeah, because I feel like their fans deserve it because their ownership, although this offseason their ownership did their version of breaking the bank or attempting to, I guess, but they could conceivably have the best pitcher in the game, and then they might have the best prospect in the last decade.
Yeah.
And he's a hitter. So, like, you want to see that, right?
Yes.
Now, for the Cardinals, they gave their manager a 2-year extension while they're kind of in the midst of their rebuild, and we can talk about that if you want. But what I figured you'd rather talk about is their all-you-can-eat package that starts at the low, low price of $29 per ticket.
Wow.
With that, you can get bottomless sodas, hot dogs, chicken tenders, bratwurst, nachos, fries, popcorn, peanuts, chips, and ice cream, all for the low, low price of $29.
That's insane. That's
that
great,
really
that's
is
a great
insane.
Value right there, especially if you're going to the stadium to look to splurge like that. Like if you're like, you know what, I'm going to starve all week, but at the end of this week, I'm going to get my $30
That's your
worth.
cheat day, yeah.
I'm going to maximize this $30, max it out. I love that idea.
What percentage of people, and I know you've had friends like this, I've had friends like this, their goal is to bankrupt the company that's doing the all-you-can-eat? Like, how many people did you know when you would go to CC's and they're like, I'm going to put a dent in their profits today?
No, absolutely. I remember in middle school, we're coming back from band trip, some band UIL or something like that.
That makes sense.
And we had the tuba players and trumpet players were like, hey, we're going to make sure we make this place sorry that they did it today.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure there were about 4 dudes there that ate one pizza by themselves, at least one. And then they were just stacking the plate. So, yeah, man, you kind of want to do something like that. You want to get your money's worth.
Yeah, and obviously CC's always tried to deter you by cutting thinner slices. And you're like, that's an 8-slice pizza. Don't be giving me this 12 crap. All right. Now, since we brought up the Pirates, I want to tell you a story about Paul Skenes that I learned from MLB.com. If I told you that Paul Skenes, when he was on Team USA's under-12 squad, threw a no-hitter, would that really surprise you that much?
No.
All right. Would it surprise you, though, if I told you he was the catcher for a no-hitter that was thrown by Mason Wynn and Pete Crow Armstrong?
Oh, I'm sorry, what?
They were all teammates on this U12 squad, and they were reminiscing about it, and they were like, oh, yeah, no, that definitely happened. And then let's take it a step further. Paul Skenes was better known as being a catcher because he didn't start pitching until high school, and he got more college offers as a catcher than he did to be a pitcher.
You know, that makes a lot of sense about how his velocity. Hey, your best athlete is your shortstop, okay? Your fastest dude is your center fielder. The dude who knows the game and has like the next best qualities is your catcher.
Sure.
Like that's the dude, especially if he can throw down to second. And can you imagine him throwing down to second?
Don't steal on him.
But it also explains
like halfway there.
Yeah, exactly. It also explains his legs. Like he's a weapon at catcher, but it explains his lower body and the regimen that he put himself through when he became a pitcher. Because your lower body is that important to pitching, and so he already had the foundation built. Kevin, this is brilliance on his part.
So congratulations, like back a decade to him, Pete Crow Armstrong, and Mason Wynn on the combo no-hitter.